It's runway time, and can I just say one more thing? I just want to say the word got meek.
Well, you can't.
I know it's wrong, but it feels right.
Got meek?
Got meek.
Got meek?
Got meek.
See, that's harder to say than got Mick.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but I like it. Hi, it's Trixie Mattel, and welcome back to The Pit Stop, the show where we recap RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13. We are very well into the season, and we are very lucky to have an incredible guest today who is talented, beautiful, and just stunning, Gigi Goode.
Hey Patricia, how's it going?
I'm so good, thank you for using my Catholic name.
I know, I wanted to say Trish, but I didn't want to overstep.
How are you, girl?
I am so good. I'm so excited to finally be doing this with you. I've been loving watching the episodes, but yeah, I'm great. Thanks for having me.
You were so recently on Drag Race. When you were competing, were you watching the pit stop?
Yeah, duh. Oh my God. You watch Drag Race, obviously, to get the episodes, and then it's like, with me and my friends, it's just full spiral days after watching every little review that there possibly is, just to find out every detail that everyone thinks.
I'm so glad you're being honest about that, because I think most people are like, no, I don't care what anyone thinks. But when you're on the TV, you're seeking the validation.
I'm seeking the validation. I also don't care what anybody thinks, but I want to know. What I mean is, it's not going to affect me, but I want to know what everyone thinks, you know?
I want to know if Bob doesn't like my makeup, because that's really going to change my life.
Tell me about it.
I have to say, in case no one knows this about Gigi, you know she does, we learned this on the podcast, The Bold and the Beautiful. You never have worn a wig that you haven't done yourself.
That is the truth, yes.
Look at the material, everybody. I mean, seriously, if you broke both your legs and arms, you could be just a wig stylist. You probably need the arms.
Have you ever thought about, like, if there was a moment in your life where you had to lose one of your limbs, which would it be?
One of my testicles could go, because I think having two would be a lot easier.
I don't know if I consider a testicle a limb.
Depends how you use it.
Depends how you use it. Well, I'd say both my legs.
Oh, if you could use one limb, I'd choose both my legs.
Yes.
You are a nutcase. Okay. Gigi, this season has been a journey. We're doing a full exploration of the depth and breadth of Season 13 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
It's literally been 4 months, so let's go.
What's it like being 1 year out from your season?
Let me tell you, it doesn't feel any different. It doesn't feel like anything's changed because nothing has happened in person. I'm not gonna say nothing. Obviously, I've had some really stunning opportunities in person, but for the most part, it's just the same kind of like dressing up, taking pictures, getting on Zooms and doing that. Like, it's fun. I have no complaints. I'm still very, very happy.
I feel like the world robbed you and your entire cast of this, like, it's supposed to be this like whirlwind year of hangovers. You're supposed to be a Delta Diamond by now.
Yes.
Well, let's get into it. Last week, Candy Muse scored her first win, and sadly, Utica, the professional roaster, sashayed away.
Professional
roaster. Mama, I will think about that Utica roast for the rest of my life.
Hard to watch. Pheromone was watching that just so excited.
Thrilled. Her crops flourished, her skin cleared up. Simone is reeling from being in the bottom two once again. What do you think is going through your friend Simone's head when she has these rare misfires?
I don't know. Simone is such a close friend of mine. She's literally sleeping upstairs right now. I literally don't know what goes through her head, because from the outside looking in, it's like, I understand the whole inner saboteur thing. We've all been there. We've all had it. But it's like, looking at her, I have rarely met someone where it seems like there is actually nothing wrong with them. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, I hang out with Katya, so no.
Listen, the dichotomy is important just to have in your life. But yeah, I don't know what's going through her head. She's got it. She has it.
It was definitely difficult for a couple of the queens to perform last week in the roast. In your season, you did some stand-up. What do you think is harder, stand-up comedy or a roast challenge?
I think a roast would be harder for me.
It's tough. I mean, and I'm just gonna say, like, you and Simone, I've seen you guys perform in Los Angeles. The shows are structured in that you are the pretty thing that does the number and leaves. Queens in Los Angeles don't have the opportunity to talk on the microphone every day. It's not a developed skill.
No, it's not. And trust me, we've tried, but there is, I think like the drag scene here is so rooted in the queens who have been here for so long and who have been doing it for so long and don't necessarily have any interest in giving up the microphone to someone new.
Right. Well, guess who has the microphone now? You, and it's a Zoom microphone.
And it's
tied clipped on the necklace. Work. What were you feeling at this point? Like top 5 going to top 4?
I am gonna be honest. I was one of those girls who was like, well, duh. Like, of course, finally I'm here. We've made it past all these other bitches, and like now I can finally just like chill, show my art. I was feeling great, and I was so proud of what I had brought that I didn't feel like there was anything necessarily that I would have changed or could have changed. So
yes,
it's riding.
Yes, we always talk about on the pit stop. If you're proud to who you lose to, who cares?
It literally doesn't matter.
I'm close friends with Jada, and if you had won, she was like, I would have been proud to lose to Gigi. Who cares? Now, Crystal, that's another story.
Now, Crystal, f that bitch.
The next day, Ru announces that the queens will be starring in an acting challenge called Henny, I Shrunk the Drag Queen. I loved it.
That is brilliant.
Gigi, are you familiar with the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids films?
Yeah, duh. Are you kidding? It's such a smart idea bringing that into the world of drag because it just makes so much sense, but also no sense at all.
None. And I mean, there's parts of my body as a drag queen I wish we could shrink. You know what I mean? I would love to fit into shoes right off the rack, you know?
Would you rather be the height that you are now or 4 inches tall? Same proportions.
I mean, the unparalleled fame I could achieve from being 4 inches tall.
Well, that's why I was talking about getting rid of both my legs. Can you imagine?
Chic.
Chic.
Everybody knows the shorter you are, the more fashionable you are. That's common knowledge.
That's a rule in the fashion industry.
When you walked for Rihanna, they were like, she's a little tall. We're gonna have to take her out at the knees.
God, we wish she was shorter, but she was on Drag Race.
She's so tall and thin, I hate it. Get her out of here. Do you think there's any trick to standing out in an acting challenge like this?
My biggest thing would just be find your character and really hone in on that and don't go too big. That works for some girls, but for other girls, it doesn't necessarily work. So just like stay on the level and just grow and just focus on the details.
And also try different things. It's multiple takes. You can tell if something's working better than something else.
Yeah, it should be obvious. It should be obvious.
Right, you should be able to tell. So Ru describes the 5 parts the queens will be playing. Which character would you, Gigi Goode Jr., have wanted to play?
Ooh, I probably would have wanted to be Got Mixed part. Like, it's fun to be given a part where you like literally have to look a fool, you know, like
yes.
You have no option. So how do you make that into yourself? I would want that role. I want to be pounded by a big black pussy.
I don't blame you. I think that Candy's role would have been like a great role for you. Don't you think you could have played a villain really well too?
I totally think I could have played a villain, and I sometimes in my head when I was on my season, I was thinking like, am I the villain of this season? And then that would lead me to be like, okay, don't play the villain.
I would love to do Candy's role. The only problem is that role, her evil is based on being critiqued by the judges, and I could never really relate to that.
No.
No.
Never gotten a bad critique.
It's never really happened to me. You know, nobody turns evil because they're thin and gorgeous and everyone loves them. So the queens discuss which part they want, and Simone and Candy are both aiming for the mean girl role. Do you think Candy has a point that it made more sense for Simone to play the smart character?
I think Candy did have a point there. I think what I understand going through reading a script and knowing what part you want and not wanting to let it go, but I do think that it seemed like these characters were kind of based on the cast members, and so I do feel like Candy and Simone fit in the roles that they eventually ended up playing. Yes,
I agree. I liked them in both their roles. I mean, it's top 5. No one did horrible.
Yes, exactly. That's huge. My favorite thing on Drag Race is when everyone does so well that the judges are like picking at straws because it's fun to watch the girls who do well squirm.
Yeah, I mean, spoiler alert, today might have even have been some kind of double save had we not had about 6 episodes without eliminations already.
Can you imagine another double save right now?
As someone who's a woman who wants job security in the workplace here at the pit stop, let's keep the season going, okay?
Keep the season going.
I'm trying to buy my mom another house. Could you tell Simone was not happy with the role she got?
Yes, Simone cannot. Simone wears her emotions on her sleeve. If I know one thing about her, and there's no. If she wants something, I think she wants to have it. And then Candy is also the exact same way. So I think Simone of the two is more likely than not gonna be the one that's like, fine, you can have it.
I know, it is not fun when you want to roll and do not get it. Because then you're like, oh, that was my ticket to the end. But then again, Candy fought for the role and was in the bottom, so look at the material.
I didn't want my role in the Madonna musical.
Scarlett Johansson didn't even audition for Black Widow. She was a boom operator.
And she just got the role?
Yes.
I believed you for a second.
She came to work in a black catsuit and they were like, wait a minute. Yeah. As the queens try to figure out what they're gonna wear, they mention how they've almost run out of clothing, which is probably the first time this has been addressed on Drag Race.
I was thinking the same thing, and why has no one ever talked about it? Okay, people, the viewers, America, the world, you need to understand that when you are going to Drag Race, you only have a limited amount of space to bring the 300 outfits that you need to bring, and by the time you reach the end, you just run out of to wear. But they all ended up looking pretty cute.
They did.
Questionable, some of them.
You do start to run out of outfits though. I'm just happy it was finally addressed. Because people do love to sometimes be like, why don't you have something better? I believe, listen, how the soup is made, that's not, how the soup is made, how the cereal's made, how the meat is made, the beef, how the... what is it, Joe?
Sausage.
Oh, how the sausage is made. How could I forget? Did you have a similar experience in season 12 at this point in the competition, running out of clothing?
Yeah, 100%. I ran out of everything towards the end except for my runway looks.
Literally, nails, hairspray, I mean, it's rough in there.
Everything.
So then we get to hear Simone talk a little bit about the incredible House of Babylon, where I think you are reporting live from today.
In the four walls.
And why she strives for perfection. What do you think about that? And I would like to know, why haven't you created an environment where Simone feels unconditional love from the House of Babylon? Surely she shouldn't be afraid of you all.
There is nothing she could have done better to make any of her house or me or Rosie proud, you know?
I love all you gals down there, and I think it's a little sad, but also I think it just shows that Simone really respects and is grateful to even have that name attached to her. She wants to make you guys proud.
The giddiness that all of us are feeling right now, like the adrenaline we're all running on just because of what she's doing on television is so strong, and we've all become so close because of it. So I'm ready for her to get over this little hump.
Maybe you guys could discontinue the psychological abuse so that she feels wanted.
Yeah, well, maybe.
You're like, you hear that?
Knocking on the ceiling with a broom.
So before we get to the challenge, Scarlett Johansson stops by the workroom to give the queens some acting advice. Are you a ScarJo fan, Gigi?
I like Scarlett Johansson. One time, I was working at Friends Beauty Supply in the Valley, and she came in to buy some mascara, and I remember being like, I think that was my first like famous person encounter.
That's a pretty good one.
Besides Bianca Del Rio at Hamburger Mary's, if you count that.
I wouldn't count that.
Yeah, it was good, and I helped her buy some mascara, and that's, I'm sure she has no idea who I am to this day.
Wow. She makes Zoom lighting look good. She looked great. I also just feel for her because I get mistaken for her. I can't even complete it. Let's just say, as a blonde woman in Hollywood, I know what it's like to be treated like a piece of meat.
Was that you who I sold mascara to?
So let's talk about this challenge. What did you think of Henny, I Shrunk the Drag Queens?
I love this concept as a challenge. I really do honestly think this is one of my favorite concepts for an acting challenge. It's so funny, so campy.
They really all were going to the RuPaul's school of overacting, and I really loved it. I gotta ask, in your opinion, who was doing the least good?
Had that coming. I would have to say Olivia Lux.
I know.
Which sucks to say.
It's hard to watch Olivia struggle because I don't know if you watched the pit stop,
is.
but she is to me the president of the United States and the host of RuPaul's Drag Race. So I am a little bit in denial watching her, but even as a fan, I was like, no. And who did the most good.
Watching all the girls together, I think Got Mick did the best job.
She really kind of turned it. It's the exact kind of gender crossplay that nullifies and upsets the whole system, and I love it.
Which we need. We need it so desperately, and thank God that she's giving us that for sure.
The next day before the runway, as Simone is getting ready, we see her in the confessional getting very emotional, talking about the pressure and the fear of disappointing people. What did you think about that?
I totally understand that feeling of wanting to one-up yourself and make the people around you proud. We are behind you every step of the way, literally no matter what happens.
Yeah. Did you help her get ready for Drag Race? Drag and all that? Pull wigs? Did you do any of her wigs?
I did a lot of her wigs. Yes. I did the wig that she wore on the runway tonight.
Oh, the red and the, oh my God, we will get there, but girl, you snapped. She mentioned you, of course, by name. Did you feel singled out? Are you haunting Simone in the workroom, perhaps?
Oh, I felt great. She said that I did amazing on my season, and she felt that she had to live up to it. So I took that as a nice compliment, and I was happy to see a picture of myself flash on the VH1 screen once again.
You looked beautiful. I will say, she does make it sound like you're her pretty older sister who went, "You're gonna do great, but if you don't come home." Did you say anything like that before she left?
Actually, yeah, a few times, but I had to do it alone so the house wouldn't hear me.
Oh, did you have similar concerns on the show about letting down Simone or anybody from home?
Not necessarily letting anyone down. The only struggle I had while I was there was with myself and impressing myself and one-upping myself. But of course, it's less pressure and more pride. I just wanted the people around me to be proud of what I have done, you know?
So the queens talk about queer representation. Do you think there's ever been somebody on television quite like Gottmik?
No, not like technically, literally speaking, and not even in the sense of personality-wise, it seems, because like you said earlier, like she's shaking the system, you know, like people have these preconceived notions of what a trans man or a trans woman is supposed to represent and be, and I kind of feel like Gottmik is definitely blurring the line between the two, which is so important, and I'm such a big, you know, advocate for not giving a about gender and just like throwing it out the window. And of course it's to each their own, but Gottmik is doing it in such a way that helps the public understand who might not have understood before, you know what I mean?
Totally. Like when she said trans people on television are Barbie or Ken and there is no middle, I was like, oh my God, it is true.
It is true.
Women, I feel like trans women are celebrated for beauty or surgery or being passing. And trans men are celebrated for being very masculine and muscular and passing. And somebody like her being in the middle, being like, some of us are doing all kinds of and no one talks about it.
Yeah.
It's runway time and category is Hot Pockets. Do you like a pocket, Gigi?
I love a pocket, especially an insanely literal interpretation of it.
Yeah, totally. Let's talk about the looks. So up first we have Simone. What did you think?
Simone! So good. The proportions, the material, the structure, the sturdiness, the hair, hello. That was fun hair. I did that hair for her. Her interests surprise a lot of people. Like, she's obsessed with like Game of Thrones and she's obsessed with like Paramore. So she wanted to have that like, you know, Paramore hair, which I love. It's like that scene hair. And I was like, we have to do the, you know, the raccoon stripes.
Oh yeah.
So it's so good, and you know where it's from, you know what the reference is.
It was amazing. What did you think of Olivia?
Of course Olivia looked beautiful. Like, she always looks beautiful, there's no denying that. But when she turned the corner, I was like, pockets?
I know.
The theme was pockets. It made me wonder, did she wear her pockets previously for something else and this is what she had left? Like, and I know that like, she had her hands in her little like hip detailing, but those weren't, it was a bow, you know, it's not pockets, like, you couldn't put anything in it.
I just thought like maybe she thought the challenge was to make something chic that had secret pockets or something. Like, girl, that's...
it was a miss for me.
I wear a lot of women's clothing with pockets. Unfortunately, my hands never fit in them.
Yeah, you can get 3 fingers.
Yeah, 3 fingers. Hello. I'm giving myself the shocker all night. What about rosé?
I really, really love this look. I love the 60s mod shape that is sort of that like A or bell shape, and then it's just legs coming out of the bottom of it. I think is so chic. You knew instantly there was something underneath it, but the jacket I thought was like simple, like cute, and then the dress underneath I thought was just very well done.
Yes.
I didn't like the hair though. I loved it from neck down.
Same. All right, up next we have Candy. I will let you explain this look because I don't know.
I don't.
I'm glad you're here because when she came around the corner, I went, God, I hate this. And then I went, well, Trixie, like maybe you didn't get enough sleep last night. Maybe you don't really understand. I don't have a lot of fashion knowledge the way you do. I thought maybe you would be like, this is amazing.
No.
Okay, I feel better now because I
No.
thought it was so bad that I was like, am I not getting a reference? Is it really just like, am I dumb?
This was hard on multiple levels for me. And it's not like, it sucks just because I love Candy so much. I just want to see her do so well. But this is an example, A, of all, of not knowing your body, B, of all, not knowing your face and head shape for hair. I just hated the hair. The construction of it didn't make any sense. The colors of it didn't make any sense. There was like, I don't know, it's the details. It was a shame because I just love Candy. I hated it so much.
It was so off the mark. Like the hair, the way it fit, the shapes on it. It was just so bad. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. I don't want to be dramatic, but it made me feel like nothing was good and nothing would ever be good again.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that's going too far.
No. I felt like I was gonna throw up a little bit.
And finally, Gottmik. What did you think of this runway?
So smart. Like really, such a smart reference. There are only so many directions you can go when you hear the word pockets in order to make it innovative. And the idea of having a flasher, it's like a mix of that, you know, the flasher and the person selling in their trench coat. We've seen it, again, she mentioned Hercules, we've seen it in Hairspray, we've seen it like all over the place. Everyone knows what this character is, and putting watches all over it, I thought was a really chic touch.
I want to let you know that there is a difference between being flashed and someone trying to sell you a watch.
I do know that.
Okay.
That's why I brought up, yeah, I do know that.
You're like, this flasher showed me a Rolex. It's like, he's trying to sell it, mama. What was your favorite look of the evening?
I mean, I think you already know what I'm gonna say, but I have to say Simone's. I think Simone did it so beautifully and it was so well executed.
I'm glad you're giving her your support because she needs it and she needs it now. And who was your least favorite?
Olivia.
I know.
I have to say Olivia. I'm sorry. Again, she looked pretty, but that was not the runway assignment.
During the judges' critique, Ru asked the queens who should go home tonight and why. And the queens all say Olivia again. What did you think about that?
That's gotta be hard to hear. Not only the first time, but also the second time when the unanimous opinion is that it's gotta cut a little deep, you know?
Yeah.
But I agreed.
When Olivia refused to say anything and then said Candy, I screamed. Olivia is gonna walk to her death in that Untucked.
I cannot wait.
She's about to be murdered. Candy's about to tear her arms and legs off.
Like a bulldog and a chihuahua.
We find out this winner of the week is Rosé, scoring her 3rd win. Do you agree?
I probably would have given it to Gottmik.
Girl, me too.
Based on the performance, based on the runway, the judges' critiques alone, I probably would have given it to Gottmik.
In the bottom 2, we have Olivia and Candy Muse. Do you agree with this bottom 2?
Yeah.
I do too.
I do.
Candy and Olivia lip sync to Strong Enough by Cher. What did you think of this lip sync?
Love the song. I thought that they both put up a fight. They did. And it for a lot of the lip sync, I was like, but then I could see Candy doing those little isms that she knows the judges likes, that she knows that RuPaul likes.
It was a pretty close call. I kind of thought Olivia was letting her have it, but I mean, it's hard to beat Candy Muse in a lip sync. Candy has already fully lost and just been asked to stay.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, really, RuPaul was like, I know you lost, but
Yeah.
not on my watch. Not on my watch.
Not on my watch.
Candy wins the lip sync, and
Yeah.
my queen, the president of the United States, Olivia Marie Ivia, sadly sachets away. Do you agree that Candy won this lip sync?
I do. I think Candy won the lip sync, and I think it was just in the little details she was pulling. But it was a close call.
Yeah, it really was. She was amazing. Gigi, we have a top 4. Can you believe it?
Finally.
Girl, we've done it again.
Months on months on months later, I'm very satisfied with this top 4.
I am too, and honestly, more than other seasons, this was the top 4 I felt like I saw from the beginning.
Saw from the beginning completely.
I think we already have an answer to this, but who is your pick to win it all?
Joey J. I'm just kidding.
We got a Joey J shout out this episode. Hi, Joey.
Hey, Joey. Obviously, Simone. I personally, bias aside, I think she is the most deserving.
Yeah, she's an icon. She's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now. Gigi, thank you so much for joining me today. You are so amazing and so incredible. Let everyone know where they can find you.
Thank you for having me. Y'all can find me on Instagram at the Gigi Goode, not Twitter because it is my personal hell. And I just recently started doing YouTube and have one whole entire video up, and I'm planning to maybe upload one in maybe a month or so. So
I love that consistency.
yeah,
Subscribe to my channel. I might do something.
career girl.
And thank you all for watching The Pit Stop. We are almost at the end, so please tune in next week on the RuPaul's Drag Race YouTube channel for the next episode of Season 13 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Goodbye.
Bye.
Look over here. The Drag Race YouTube channel is always bringing amazing content, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing.